So we're just dead set on doing this, aren't we, Hogs? We are just dead set on doing this.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Neighbors. I am also the host of Inside Arkansas Live, which you can catch every weekday starting at noon on Inside Arkansas and InsideArkansas.com. Today's episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Go to 5hourenergy.com and use promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your first order. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday and hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, which I know you probably didn't. If you're a Razorback fan and you're listening to this. You know, there's a lot to break down in this, and there's a lot to get to, and there's going to be some things that we look at as far as ahead and possibilities, because there are still 10 regular season games left of this season. But, dude, how do you really, after a game like that, after the game that Arkansas played and lost against Oklahoma State by a final score of 39-31 in overtime, how do you even wrap your head around what this team is right now? Because I want to believe it's different. I want to believe that it's fixable. I want to believe that it can be done. But when you lose a game like this in the fashion that Arkansas lost, it's almost impossible to think that there is any hope in any game this season. Now, I'm not going to play Debbie Downer the entire time. I'm not. And for y'all that know me and have listened to this podcast and have listened to my radio shows in the past and everything, you all know that I am ever the optimist. Okay, I say that so much, and you probably get annoyed by it, but I'm just saying it once again for your sake and mine to let everybody know that this isn't just me overreacting in the moment. This isn't just me waiting for this team to fail, and as soon as they do, I want to pile on. It's nothing like that. This is just me being completely and totally bluntly honest and open and transparent with you about how I feel. Okay? If you don't feel this way, that's fine. This is the way I feel. How I feel is that this team just, under Sam Pittman, for whatever reason, just cannot figure out how to win. And it's simple as that. And it's not the cliche that other teams use. You know, you hear coaches talk about, we got to teach these kids how to win. Got to coach them how to win. And it's just like something to say. But this is one of the few times that it's actually a reality. It's actually a legitimate thing. This team, this program does not know how to win. They know how to do pretty much everything else except win. You need examples? I got a lot of them. Let's look at this box score, folks. I'm not even going to read Oklahoma State's. Actually, you know what? Screw that. I am going to read Oklahoma State so you can exactly see the comparison of Arkansas losing this game 39-31. Total yardage. This is absolutely insane. Oklahoma State had 384 total yards. That's not great. It's fine. It's whatever. Arkansas had 648 offensive yards. That's not a joke, folks. 648 yards of offense. 416 through the air, 232 on the ground. That, right there should just tell you something. 648 offensive yards and 31 points? Really? Really? 10 points in the second half and in overtime. Arkansas didn't score in overtime. They didn't score in the third quarter. They scored 10 points in the fourth, and they needed every bit of it to even force overtime. 648 yards. All right? How about first downs? Arkansas 33 to Oklahoma State's 22. Wow. What about third down conversions? Arkansas converted 11 of 19 compared to Oklahoma State's 5 of 16. Wow. Arkansas had 93 total offensive plays compared to Oklahoma State's 74. Wow. Arkansas had 7 yards per play compared to 5.2 by Oklahoma State. Wow. Arkansas averaged 4.9 yards a carry. Oklahoma State, 2.3. Wow. Time of possession, 36 minutes compared to 23 and a half minutes, or almost 24 minutes for Oklahoma State. Wow. Just incredible. Incredible. You pretty much beat Oklahoma State in every facet of the game, except for the one that actually matters, the score. Now, it's not Arkansas wasn't perfect, because Oklahoma State did have 10 tackles for loss compared to Arkansas's 3. Oklahoma State did get 3 sacks compared to Arkansas's 0. Arkansas did throw an interception. They did throw or have 4 fumbles, 2 of them lost. But when you go through the box score and you just break it down, it's unbelievable. Oklahoma State and their Doak Walker Award-winning running back, Ollie Gordon, is really good. Really good. You want to know what he did? 17 carries for 49 yards. That's an average of 2.9 yards a carry. Okay? I don't know for sure, but I think I could have gotten 2.9 yards a carry. But I'm not a Doak Walker Award winner. He is. The best part of their offense, you stopped him. Just plain as day. He hadn't had a game like that ever. You stopped him. Their quarterback, Bowman, he threw for 326 yards, but he only had 1 touchdown. He did throw an interception and completed 56%. Taylon Green, his percentage wasn't great, 58%, but he threw 416 yards for a touchdown and a pick 6. Jaquindon Jackson was awesome. 24 carries, 149 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging of 6.2 yards a carry. Andrew Armstrong had 10 catches for 164 yards. I could just go on and on and on about this. About the box score, about this team, and everything. And we'll talk some, I don't even want to call it silver linings, but we'll talk about some alternatives to my feeling. But I'm sick of this, folks. I am so sick of it. I'm sick of the games like this. I'm a Razorback fan. I know what losing is like. I've seen it in all different shapes and forms. Losing is just part of sports. Teams and programs go through ups and downs. They go through highs and lows. It happens. And you know what? If Arkansas went into Oklahoma State and lost this game, if you told me that Arkansas was going to lose this game in overtime, I would have been like, that sucks. But hey, Oklahoma State, top 25 team, whatever. I wouldn't have been happy, but I at least would have been like, well, it's a tough game. It was going to be a 50-50 shot anyways. But send it to overtime at least tells me that they played pretty well, at least well enough. But what if I told you that literally the reason Arkansas lost this game is because if they were going to do something wrong, they did it. It was like all the bad things mixed into one over the last 20 to 30 years of Razorback football. Like the muffed punt reminded me of the Reggie Fish scenario. You had that. You had missed field goals going out of style. Like it was like back when Cole Hedlund was kicking them and he was missing them in clutch situations. It reminded me of the Texas A&M game just a couple years ago where KJ Jefferson leaped from the 6-yard line on 1st and goal to try to score, and Texas A&M picked up the ball and returned it for a scoop and score. Instead of 21-0, ended up being 14-7. Eerily similar to this because Arkansas was destroying Oklahoma State. They were about to go up 21-0 because they were cruising offensively, and they just threw it, and it was just a freak play that ended up being a pick 6 for Oklahoma State. Instead of being 21-0, it was 14-7. Between the muffed punt, between the bad penalties at the bad times, the missed field goals, all of it. Oklahoma State needed every single one of your mistakes to even be in this game, to even have a chance at this game. They needed every single one of those mistakes. If you just don't make one of them, you win. You don't muff that punt, you win. You don't throw that pick 6, you win. You don't have those bad penalties, those bad times, you win. You make the field goals that you're supposed to make, you win. But it is almost, hilarious to see this. I don't mind losing. I can accept it. But losing when you are the better team and you show that you're the better team and that you're doing so much right, but you lose because of dumb, stupid mistakes, dumb, stupid luck, dumb, stupid sequences, dumb, stupid everything. That's when I get pissed. That's when I can't handle it. And it'd be one thing, folks. It'd be one thing if it happened just once. If this was the one-time thing, I wouldn't be happy about it, but at least be like, well, man, that was out of character. That's not like this program. That's not like this team. And when I say team, I know it's been 2 games, so a lot of you are going to be like, well, yeah, how can you know? No, because it was this way last year. Happened against BYU. Okay? Happened, like Arkansas lost 1-possession games on the road. Now Sam Pittman is horrendous in 1-possession games. I think I saw the stat. He's 1-9. 1-9 in 1-possession games. How? You're good enough to win. You're good enough to compete. You're good enough. But you just can't do it. There's not just some easy fix to it either, and that's what really just boils my nuggets, is that there's not just something you can point to and say, that's all you got to do is whoop, do that. But my goodness, the way it's almost impossible to think how this team finds ways to lose. I was there in Stillwater. The crowd sucked. There was no energy. The fans were nice. I hated it. You should be 2-0. You have a good team, solid team, talented team. A lot of good things. I just, until you prove otherwise, I'm not going to believe it. You'll beat UAB. Great. But you know what? Like the rest of the year, I'm not going to believe until I see it. All right. Let's take a break because I'm going to tell you about some reasons to be hopeful after I take my blood pressure medicine real quick. So stay with us here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Well, folks, then we know that every time that we go to work or every time that we go to the gym or every time that we're waking up early in the morning, we always need that extra boost. We need something to help us get out of that tired phase. Well, luckily for you, 5-Hour Energy is going to have you cover. Whether you have a long list of work to do it-yourself projects at home, you can take that 5-Hour Energy shot so you can check everything off of your list. And if you're like me, you always have a large list of projects, especially going on with my new company and everything. I got to have the energy all the time. So when you get your supplies for your next project, don't forget the most essential supply, which of course is the 5-Hour Energy shot. It gives you the feeling of alertness and energy to get you in the zone. With zero sugar and a convenient portable size, it's a perfect pick-me-up for getting things done. The 5-Hour Energy website has flavors galore like watermelon, tropical burst, grape, berry, and more. There is a flavor for everyone, so you got to try them all. On the site, you'll even have the option to build your own 12-pack or your 24-pack. You choose the flavors, and it gets delivered right to your door. So if you go to 5hourenergy.com, that's the number 5hourenergy.com, and get 5-Hour Energy product today, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONCFB for 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on any other subscription orders. So go to 5hourenergy.com today. All right, so moving on into the next segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Now that I've taken my happy medicine and I am deciding to take a different approach to it, I had to dig deep. I had to dig deep into how I feel about the rest of the year and looking at all sides. I try to do it that way. I try to look at everything in all different ways and on all ends of the spectrum and different scenarios and all that. So this is what I've come up with. If you're looking for reasons to be optimistic, if you're looking for reasons to be hopeful, as difficult as it may be, here you go. This is where I am going to be coming from. Okay? If you're looking for reasons to be hopeful, one, Arkansas offensively is light years better than what it was a year ago. I mean, it's not even close. Not even close. Bobby Petrino's offense, you can tell with the quarterback, the offensive line is vastly improved. You got great playmakers. Your running game is tremendous. You have an offense that cooks. And because of that fact, you can at least find yourself to be a hard out for anybody that's going to be going up against you, especially defenses in the SEC. You're not going to roll over and die. It's not going to be easy to stop you. You got elements. You're not a one-trick pony. You got different elements to your game offensively. And defensively, folks. Defensively, I'm not saying that they're light years better than what they were a year ago, but they certainly are a lot better than what maybe people anticipated. The only thing that I would say is that the defensive line has been okay, but it hasn't really just stood out just yet. Still got time. But I think Xavion Sorey has been tremendous. I know that people are really counting on him. He had 13 tackles in this game. TJ Metcalf had 12 tackles. So he did a really good job. I really liked what he had. But there's guys in the secondary that was a problem. I mean, Nico Slaughter got picked on a lot. Jaheim Singletary also. He had that interception, but he got picked on a lot. So there were some elements there. But your defense is still good. I mean, you literally had 6 straight quarters of 0 points offensively scored. And against Oklahoma State, you did a good job in the third quarter because you held them to 6 points. You held them 2 field goals. But when Oklahoma State scored 18 points, I'm not totally putting that on the defense. But still, my point is that scoring-wise, defensive-wise, you're doing enough. You're doing enough. Because I don't care what anybody says. When you hold the Doak Walker Award winner, Gordon, to 49 yards, averaging 2.9 yards a carry, that's great defense. It's great defense. So you have those things. You have playmakers. You have you went in with a great game plan. I mean, your game plan was clicking in the first quarter, second quarter, first half. You have things about you that makes you and will continue to make you a solid football team that'll be tough against anybody in any capacity. You have that. But the problem is that you just... Okay, let me rephrase that. Because I want to be positive. The good thing about this is these are fixable things. Okay? You have to actually fix them. And we'll wait to see if there'll be any evidence of you fixing them. But they are very fixable things. Muffing punts is fixable. Bad penalties, fixable. There's only so much you can do about field goal kicking. Also, I didn't mention this, but red zone wasn't great. You went 3 for 6, 3 touchdowns, but 0 times you came up short in the red zone. So that needs to get addressed and fixed. But these things are fixable. You can clean it up. But again, it goes back to will you? Will you clean it up? I guess we're going to find out, but it's just really unfortunate for Arkansas to be in this position once again. You got UAB, you'll win that game, and then you got Auburn on the road. And we'll talk about the SEC in a second, but it doesn't get any easier from out here. You're going to have some tough opponents in front of you. You're going to have to go up against some really good teams, some really good offenses, some teams that are really looking to possibly play for a college football playoff spot. I mean, that's what you're looking at right now. So, fix it. Please. I do not want to do this again. Do not want to feel this way again. This sucks. Ah, man. At least you got a week of practice, right? Figure out some things there. Make that work. I'll tell you another reason why here in just a second, because we're going to talk about the SEC. So stay with us on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, folks, we know that during many times of the year, we're always looking to buy and do different things. Like it's sometimes in the summertime, we're talking about going on vacation and trying to save some money, or maybe during the fall, we're trying to save some money on those tailgating trips that we're going to have. But luckily for you, Ibotta is going to help you out with that. It's a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. You can earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure that you're beating inflation no matter what you end up purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 a year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been trying to eye, or the fancy dinner that you've been craving. Other apps gives you points that really don't amount to much. Well, with Ibotta, you earn cash back that you can withdraw from your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Simply add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. So right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using promo code LOCKEDONCollege when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app. It's just to start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONCollege. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. All right, now, final segment here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. So, we know what Arkansas went through, but this could make you feel not good. You're not going to feel good about it, but you may feel a little bit more hopeful, or maybe a little bit like, I don't know, positive. Because the SEC and some of the teams you're going to be facing in the SEC slate this year, they're not very good. They're not very good. And you at least feel somewhat confident that they're beatable. I know you're a beatable team. Arkansas is a beatable team, but there's reasons to believe that maybe there'll be some opportunities for you to possibly win some games in the SEC. So let's just lay it out for you. So over the weekend, I'll just go through quickly all the SEC teams that played, even the ones you didn't face. Like, Georgia's the best team in the country. It's not close. They're going to win the national championship. The only other team that I may even give a sniff to the possibility would be Texas at this point, because they beat Michigan on the road in the Big House 31-12, but Michigan's not very good. So, but yeah, this is Georgia's year. They're going to win a title, and I just don't see it happening any other way. Alabama smoked South Florida, but it was a struggle there in the very beginning. So there's that. Ole Miss smoked Middle Tennessee State. That's just Ole Miss and what they do. Missouri beat Buffalo. Whoop-de-doo. Great scheduling there. Missouri, 38-0. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Tennessee played NC State, a top 25 matchup. Tennessee beat the brakes off of them, 51-10. Tennessee scored in every quarter, and it wasn't even that close. Like, Tennessee is a really good offense and a really good team. That one's going to look really tough for Arkansas. But think about this. Oklahoma beat Houston 16-12. Not great. You know, LSU beat Nichols 44-21. But here's the deal. It was pretty close at halftime, and LSU did not look good. Now Nussmeier threw 6 touchdowns in this game, but no one was leaving that game feeling good if you're an LSU fan. So that's a beatable team. Texas A&M beat McNeese 52-10. McNeese is not good, but I still am not sold on them. And then, I still think they're beatable. Now, here's where it really gets funny. Cal Berkeley, not Coach Cal Berkeley, California. They went into Auburn and beat Auburn 21-14. They went into Auburn and beat Auburn at 21-14. Cal Berkeley. Aaron Rodgers was not playing. Marshawn Lynch was not playing. None of those guys were. Auburn may not be good. If you're losing a game like that, Auburn, I don't think you're good. So that's a big one. Again, I'm not saying Arkansas is going to win those games. Do not misconstrue it. I'm just saying that there's some beatable teams on this SEC slate for Arkansas. South Carolina beat the crap out of Kentucky. Did not see that coming. Still not sold on either on South Carolina, but Kentucky just, that was a dud. Florida beat Samford. Who cares? Vanderbilt smoked Alcorn State. They might be the best team in the SEC next to Georgia. But then the other team that you're going to be facing, Mississippi State, they lost to Arizona State 30-23. And Arizona State didn't even score in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State scored 13 to make it closer, but it really wasn't that close. So the point is, SEC's good in some cases, but right now, folks, this is where it stands right now, and I'm not saying they're going to win these games, so just making sure you understand. Auburn, A&M, LSU, and Mississippi State. Those are 4 teams on Arkansas's SEC schedule right now that don't look great. Don't look great at all. And it wouldn't surprise me if Arkansas beat those 4 teams, or at least if you told me that they would beat this one team in this one situation, I'd probably believe it. But it goes back to what I started with. You got to prove yourself you can win. You can win those games, but are you going to keep doing stupid stuff to cost you the game? That's going to be the difference. I appreciate everybody listening to my rants. Obviously, I thought it calmed down after, 24, 36 hours after it. As soon as I hit record, I was like, nope, I'm pissed again. I can't deal with this anymore. Can't deal with it. But we'll hear from Sam Pittman. We'll let the week play out, and we'll see what happens. But shit, it's just so I don't know. I'm just gonna end this. Let's just end this. We'll get more positive. We'll be feeling a lot better tomorrow. Appreciate all of you watching and listening into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at John Neighbors Show for any questions, comments, concerns that you may have, and we will keep it going from there. Same podcast time, same podcast channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you then.